hearing some things about people saying that Bronny and LeBron shouldn't play together. I was like, man, and I've been on both sides of it, both sides of the equations. You know what I mean? On one end, I'm like, yeah, I can see it based off of like the results of some other people and stuff, and I'm also looking at it from like how magical that could be. You know what I mean? We've already seen brothers play together. You know what I'm saying? We got Thanasis Antetokounmpo and Giannis Antetokounmpo playing on the same team, and then they got another brother playing. I don't know what team he plays on. I think it's the Lakers. It might be another team, but he's also in the league. You know what I mean? Dog, that's magical. You gotta like put yourself in their shoes in that potential situation there, and understand like that is like crazy magical. You know what I mean? That's not like something that you just throw away. Even if it's for like a season or so, like what it would be for like LeBron and Bronny. You know what I mean? Like the brothers get to play together. Held like two like brothers got drafted in the same draft together and shit. Like dog, like that's a magical family moment that you can grow old knowing the fact that that happened, reminiscing about that. You know what I'm saying? And then now, like yeah, you have the Doc Rivers and Austin Rivers thing that happened. Obviously, that went awry, right? It's never been a thing where a father and a son have played in the league together, and the simple matter of fact that people are simply like, yeah, he don't listen. Yeah, Bronny's numbers don't look the greatest and shit. I personally feel like, I mean, it's not like he can't develop further. I mean, it's always the possibility he could. He has the backing of his father. You know, what I'm saying he always had the backing of his father. You know what I mean? He just probably hasn't reached that next level of development yet, and who knows if he ever will. But I personally believe that it's still worth it to go and try for it. You know what I mean? It's still worth it to go and try and get into the league so you can do that. And if you can't, well, it was a valiant effort. But if you can, oh, that is magical. That is a whole different experience. That does not happen. That's something historic for the NBA and for their family. That cannot be undersold. I personally want to see that. Before I was kind of like whatever about it, but now I'm like, you know what? Because if I was put in that situation, I would want that. I myself would want that. You know what I mean? That would be something that I myself could reminisce about when I get older and stuff. And like, some years down the line, so my father be reminiscing about it too, and I know he would, regardless of how it goes. You know what I mean? Like you got to think about the smaller sets of things that would go on. Like who gives a fuck if people say that you live in your father's shadow because he's one of the greats and stuff. You know what I mean? That you got what you got because of him. Who gives a fuck about that? Personally, like, dog, you going listen. If you make it, you make it. You make your millions, and on top of that, you try to be the best basketball player you can possibly be. When you have such a strong backing like that from the jump, anyways, you know what I'm saying. You keep developing. You keep being a student of the game. You know what I'm saying. You keep trying to maximize your potential and be the best player that you can be. And mind you, dog, if that's a short career, then it ends up being a short career. You know what I mean? We all make mistakes, and on top of that, you have a higher chance of it being a longer career because you have so much backing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just you. It's not just like you have like you just have anybody. You can literally have LeBron as like one of your teachers, one of your mentors, and who's going to go above and beyond for you in a different type of way because he's your father. On top of that, you see what I'm saying? As long as you just don't like, I guess, heavily rely on it, and you actually do carve out your own way in the midst of it. Because like again, you take what he teaches you and you add it to your own game, mold it into your own. That's all it is. It's just molding that stuff into your own. So that way you can basically be, again, the best player that you can be. If that's not the greatest of all time, then it's not the greatest of all time. If that's not any championships, but you are someone who is maybe a contender, someone who's a solid basketball player, like teams want you on their team because they feel like you would be a solid addition, whether that be a third option, okay, or a very solid role player. You could be a very solid role player. Okay, because there's plenty of teams who wish they had like a two-way guard or some shit, or like a two-way player, or like someone who can shoot really well, play make everything. Wish they had certain things on their teams that's not necessarily a star, but like a very good role player who is special in their fucking role. Obviously, no one wants to like ultimately max out their potential as a role player. Nobody wants that, right? You want to try to be the star. But if you end up not being that because that's not what the team needs from you, then you go in that direction. If that direction helps you be more successful, then why wouldn't you do it? If you have more success doing that, then why wouldn't you do it? Who gives a fuck what the naysayers say? Because they're going to talk regardless. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, honestly. And again, it's personally, it's better for them if they do it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's undervalued how important, like, that whole family situation is. You don't get to play with your family all the time, man. That's why I made the early points about brothers being in the league. You know what I'm saying? Then you had like cousins. I think Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter was. They didn't even know they was cousins. They didn't even know they was cousins. And then now we could potentially get a father and son combo, and that never has happened. It's not so much about just history for them. Like I said, it's not history just for the NBA. It's history for that family and being able to reminisce about it. Again, after those games, they get to recover together. Hell, they get to be seen on the press conference desk together. You know what I'm saying? But like as two players, not like LeBron and his family is there. Like no, they get to both be there, answering important questions and answering questions to the media, whatever it may be. Afterwards, again, they get to recover together. They continue to have lunches together and everything else, right? But it's not just they get to devise, like they also get to like think about it. They get to also schematically figure out an offense together with the coach. What works for them as far as becoming a dynamic duo if they can actually manifest it on an NBA floor? How can they basically maximize both of their potential together? I would imagine there's love for the game from both of them. I would more so question it with Bronny than LeBron at this point. How can they maximize each other? I mean, hell, no one knows each other's strengths and weaknesses more than each other, more than both LeBron and Bronny. Like they probably practice together often, and if not, they need to seriously because if they're gonna be on the same team, having that like this is what we're thinking of what we might do and everything else. Like, dog, I myself, it's like I'm jealous in that fact of like, and I know that's a sin, but I'm jealous in the fact that I myself can't live that. That's not a reality of mine. You know what I mean? But I would still love to see that from them. I think that's beautiful. I think it would honestly, honest to God, across my heart, hope to die. It's probably the most. This is probably the most like I don't even really know what to even call it to be honest with you. But this is probably the most, I guess, animated or whatever I'll ever be for like a video or something like that. But I personally believe like you don't pass up on that because think about it too, it's about to get dark here for a second. But like you saw how Kobe went up when saying helicopter went down and everything else. It doesn't have to be a helicopter though. It could be anything that ends up taking LeBron out of this world. And same vice versa. Something could take Bronny out of this world. He had that heart thing not that long ago that he recovered from. You see what I'm saying? Life is too short. Damn what the naysayers say, bro. Damn what they say. Straight up. You take advantage of that fucking opportunity. There's plenty of fucking kids out here and plenty of dudes that was like who played in sports and shit who actually had their father there for them. You know what I'm saying? Throughout that time frame that wish they could have fucking potentially did something like that. But their father came because he beat up or he works a different type of job or he never really could get into sports because he wasn't that good or for whatever reason you can possibly think of. It's like, nah, you take that opportunity. Life is way too short, and that's too special of a moment to pass up on. Too special of a moment. Like I would, nah. If it was me, it wouldn't even be a question. You know what I'm saying? Like at least a year. At least a year. You know what I'm saying? At least a year. Because on top of that too, my father can critique my game. On the top of that too, you know what I'm saying? Tell me what does he see? Front row seat, what does he see? You know what I'm saying? And mind you, it's not like he hasn't already been doing it, but then he can manifest it from an actual NBA professional level. You see what I'm saying? Because each level is somewhat different. High school, college, NBA, pros. You know what I'm saying? Even if for whatever reason he went to the G League, still can saying that's still people that you playing against that are also trying to make it. So they're gonna be attacking you. And it's nice to have that person there who's gonna critique you, right? Who can saying like you may not see something, But having an opinion like that from somebody can help kick you into gear. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're actually a student of the game. Straight up from like a humane standpoint. Like Bronny gonna never see this video. No one like no one like who this would impact or whatever. They'll never see this shit. And that's fine. But I just figured I wanted to say so. I just wanted to get my 2 cents in there. This needs to happen. And as far as Bronny's career is concerned, he got time to figure it out. He got time. Young dude, the world is his oyster. If he can make it, continue improving. And again, if you can't be a star, that's fine. But you carve out your journey however you're going to carve it out. You don't have to be like him. He can give you the tools, but if you only know how to use a couple of those tools, hey, fuck it. Be a specialty in those tools, man. Like real shit. It's special. Being able to see both your name and your father's name. Same jerseys. Like my nigga, I wish that was me. Truly. I wish that was me. Honest to God. I'm honestly, and this is gonna be weird, right? This is gonna be weird. And I know it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be perceived as weird and the whole nine, right? But I'd be actually saddened if this doesn't happen. I'd actually feel like secondhand sadness here. I'd be like, yo, that's truly unfortunate that they really let the media and other people just be Bronny's choice that he doesn't want to do it. But I just don't understand why you wouldn't though. You know what I mean? When your father is already at the tail end of his career, and he's been there for some years now. You listen, he's slowed down in a lot of different ways. He's not the same player. He's still solid, still a star. But you can make the argument that he's not a superstar no more. But he's still, you know what I'm saying? He's still solid though. The dude still could fuck up most of the people in the goddamn league. All right, you know what I'm saying? Just being honest with you. Regardless of how he get the buckets, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, it's the other teams that allow him to get the buckets, and he still has the wherewithal to still do his playmaking thing. You know, what I'm saying his defense has severely slipped, but he's still solid. But he's at the tail end of his career. Other than you simply just telling yourself that, nah, I don't want to do that because I don't want to live in my father's shadow. Who is telling you that? Is the question I gotta ask. Because you have your whole career to manifest yourself and like to create. Yeah, your dad got you in the door, but it's what you do with it. If you don't do nothing with it, then that's how it will stay. You know what I mean? And again, it may that may your stuff may always be that way. But dog, if you go out there and you fucking put your best foot forward and you fucking nail it and you crush it out there, I'm talking about you basically become a star slash superstar and everything else. They can say what they want to say. You're your own being and you carving out your own legacy right as you play. The model that I use, the model that I like, and I wish I followed it more closely. And it's my own personal motto. Is that every day is another day to be better than you were yesterday. It's a model that I looked it up online. I tried to look for it online and I didn't see it nowhere. I saw things that looked that were similarly, but it was never phrased the exact same way. So I'm convinced that this is my own original one. And I'll say it again. Every day is another day to be better than you were yesterday. And I truly believe that if he would want to escape those, it may not even be possible, but to put your best foot forward to escaping that is to use the resource that you have at your disposal. And one of those resources is your father. Use that all the way up until the end. Because again, even when he retires, he's still going to be in your corner for as long as he is able. He's still going to be there to coach you, still going to be there to teach you and stuff. Still going to be able to critique your game and basically let you know where you're falling short at. Something that you might have missed that he could see. Something y'all could run over film together with. You know what I mean? I ain't saying definitely don't alienate your teammates and stuff, but like, because you also want to build a bond with them as well. But I'd imagine that I'm sure that LeBron has been over that with him. But you don't abandon that stuff, man. Like you don't abandon that because of what other people are saying or what they might say. because that's just feeding into peer pressure to the highest degree. You're avoiding something that could be so beautiful for your family. Like, truly. I think personally, and I'm going to end it off with this, you've been making a huge mistake by you not doing it because of what other people are saying or what they might say or what they're going to potentially say about you as far as your legacy is concerned, as far as your future is concerned. You'd be making a huge fucking mistake. Not everybody gets that chance, and there's some kids out here who would kill for that opportunity. They'd kill just to make the NBA, to have that generational wealth. Hell, to have a father that's there for them, period. And not only that, but you get to play in the National Basketball Association, a professional league, with someone that close to you. That is your father on top of that. And it's never been done before. Personally, I honestly would say you're an idiot if you don't take that opportunity. You're an idiot. In more ways than one. But that's all that I have.